Well, hello, everybody out there in the land of make-believe. This is the holier-than-hell Reverend Barkley, Laughing Wolf, Submortal, Cheerleader of the Apocalypse, and a diabolical minion of good. And this is my video about, can an electric bicycle replace a car?
No. No, it cannot replace a car. Not at all. It's a ridiculous question. But it is a question that I have run into more than once by seemingly intelligent people saying, hey, you know, I've heard that, let me adjust this. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I've heard an electric bike can replace a car. Well, I don't know. Do you know what a car is? Because they're completely different things used for completely different purposes. An electric bike can't replace a regular bike, nor can a bike replace a car or a skateboard replace a tricycle. They're different things completely. But before I go too far, it might seem like I'm bagging on electric bikes, which I'm not. I got an electric bike a year ago, and my life is much better off now than it was a year ago before I got the electric bike on a significant scale. When a year ago I could barely walk. I had some significant back issues, and I was going through physical therapy for some upper body muscular problems that I have. So I was having a hard time. I got my electric bike and didn't have to take the bus anymore, which the bus sucks here where I live, and I gained some independence. Now, I don't drive a car, so for me, it's not a matter of replacing a car. I don't drive one. I don't drive a car because I will ram you. It's just pure and simple. I can't do it. I can't drive with the people who drive on the roads in another car because I'll ram you. I'm gonna put up with it. I'm not gonna do it. So I can't drive a car, and then the buses I can't. They're ridiculous. The bus I have to take from my home to the nearest transit center is regularly 10-20 minutes late. That's flat out. It's going to be 10 to 20 minutes late no matter what, and then that's if you're lucky. People have been shot on that bus. I often have to intervene in altercations between completely batshit crazy people and other people who have no concept about how batshit craziness works, which I happen to be an expert. So, I need to mediate these situations so that nobody gets hurt, just so I can get home. So I don't like the bus. That is another thing. So electric bike is great. I love my electric bike. I love an electric bike. But can an electric bike replace a car? First, let's talk about semantics. Okay, replace? No, it can't replace a car. It is an alternative to a car. Are there things that you usually do in a car that you could alternatively do on an electric bike? Yes, you could go get your coffee. You could make little store runs. You know, there are lots of things that you could not have to. But can you just, I don't need a car anymore. I've got an electric bike. I don't think so. I mean, let's get into the specifics. First, the battery. Your electric bike runs on a battery. Now, I've got two electric bikes that will get me 40 miles, 40 to 60 miles, depending on the amount of assist I use. So let's say 60 miles. After 60 miles, I need to stop and I need to recharge my batteries. That's going to take a minimum of 10 hours with one charger, 5 hours with two chargers. So now I'm carrying around either two chargers or I need to take a 10-hour break in between using my batteries. Or I limit of one battery, which only takes me, I'll give you 25 miles. I like using assist level 3, and that really only with hills only gets me about 20 miles. So right there, 20 miles, and I got to stop for 5 hours and recharge my battery. With a vehicle, even if you could only get 20 miles in a vehicle, you just stop and you fill it up with gas, and then you go another 20 miles. But you can get much farther in a car on gas. So that's not even a matter that we need to discuss. So you got the distance on a battery, you get the charge time on the battery. Then you just got the weight of the bicycle is very heavy. So as for it being a conventional way of travel with a dead battery, it's not. I mean, it's better than a car, with a dead bicycle. You can at least push it. A electric bike, you can push it, but then we're still talking about alternatives. Also, you've got weather-related situations. There's certain weather that you can just not ride a bicycle in. You've got to get off your bike and find shelter. Car is shelter. So you can keep on going pretty much. I mean, granted, you're not going to drive through a tornado in a car, but I've done it. I'm not saying it can't be done. So I've gone through a tornado in a car, and not on a bicycle. No, I've done things in cars that I would have died if I had just been stuck on a bicycle. Granted, that's when I lived somewhere else. I lived in the Pacific Northwest. I used to live in Wisconsin, and man, sometimes you get hit with a tornado, and you need to just be in a car. That's all there is to it. So you got your distance, you got your battery charging, you got your weather, and then you have just the usefulness of a car. Let's say you have a girlfriend, which I do, and my girlfriend doesn't happen to live anywhere. Sorry, ladies. Sorry, let me take a moment. Sorry, ladies. I have a girlfriend. So she don't live anywhere near me. She lives about an hour and a half bicycle ride from my house. 2 hours actually, but it's a 2-hour bus ride, so that the time, it really doesn't, it takes about the same amount of time in a car and a bus and a bike. But once I get to her house, first of all, I've been riding a bike, so I'm just not immediately in the mood for date night. Secondly, now I got to plug in. Now I got to plug in and I got to charge for 5 hours because I'm out of battery if I want to be able to get myself home. If not, I got to put my bike in her car. Boom, there. There's right there is how a bicycle is not can't replace a car. You can't put a car in an electric bicycle, but you can put an electric bicycle into a car in any case. So the last point I want to make is sometimes there's emergencies. If you have an accident where you set your arm on fire and you need to get yourself to a hospital quickly, you jump in your car and you drive. That's an extreme or not. I've seen people set themselves on fire. I've had a lot of people I know do things that they needed to drive themselves to the emergency room for, and just certainly wouldn't have been able to do it on an electric bicycle. So you got your weather-related issues. You got your usefulness of a vehicle just for transporting multiple people to multiple places without having to stop. You got your distance, you have your recharge time. You cannot replace a car with an electric bike. It is a great alternative to a car. Electric bike is a great alternative. You don't have to. I used to have a car back in the day, and I was like, oh man, I really wish I didn't have to use my car for this little short of a trip. But I used to walk a lot too. I actually had no problem with that. But it was oftentimes I'm like, too bad I got to take a car. So it's a great alternative to a car. It's a great alternative to a regular bike. On a pedal power bicycle, there's no limit. The limit to how far you can go is the limit to your physical strength and capacity. But with an electric bike, when your battery dies, it's a heavy bike, and they're very the ones that I've tried are very hard to ride when you don't have any more battery. Mine's got a hub motor, so just getting that rear wheel to spin is a chore in and of itself. So an electric bike is a great alternative to a regular bike, but if your lifestyle is I ride a bicycle all the time, it might not be something that you would enjoy particularly. Alternatively, if your lifestyle is I'm in my car all the time, somebody's trying to convince you that an electric bike is a replacement to a car, It is not. It is a good alternative. But if you're vehicle centric, you might not use it as much as you think you would. So these are all things to keep in mind. If you're looking at acquiring a electric bike for yourself and have seen any of these ads, I'm going to call them ads, that question, can an electric bike replace a car? I just wanted you to take all of these things into consideration while you're pondering the possible choices. But again, I use my electric bike. I'm about to invest even more into making to upgrading everything on my electric bike, because although I enjoy riding it about 75% of the time, I'm worried about something. So I'd like to remedy some of those issues. So I'm going to put even more money into my electric bike. So in no way am I bad-mouthing electric bikes. I am bad-mouthing people who are trying to put seeds in people's heads saying, oh, you can replace a car with an electric bike. You can't. It's just stupid. It's a stupid idea. So until next time, boys and girls, ride safe and be seen.